Hey, it's Dina Blizzard, and you're watching One Funny Morning. Welcome to One Funny Morning Show.
From Monday to Friday.
And sometimes on Saturday.
Why would you say that in front of all these people?
You never know what's gonna happen.
Carmen.
Cortez.
Good morning, everybody.
What's outside your weather drawer?
Good morning. Uppy, everybody.
Good morning, everybody. This is Cassie from Orange County, coming to you live from my lemon tree that I wish I could send some to Dina to help her with her kidney stones. Speaking of Dina, here she is with Uppy, One Funny Morning. Cheers!
Good morning. Oh, Cassie, I don't know what you're talking about. I think you're a little ridiculous with your giant vase, although it was an impressive vase. So thank you for doing it. Good morning. We're kind of on time. It is Friday for anybody that was wondering. I checked before we went live. Hopefully everybody, good morning from the in-laws a month and a half later. Oh, good luck to you. I hope you get to leave soon. Happy Friday, Malene. It is a great day. Hopefully everybody has some nice plans for the weekend. I don't even remember what I did yesterday. Finally caught you live. Good morning, Samantha. Hey, Joyce. Hey, Alice. If you have been following, you know that Michelle Mooney, our sexy producer Michelle, has been doing a great job with all of our guests in the last few weeks. We've had some amazing fellas on, and I'm super excited. Candace, you might want to pretend you're not working today because we have a great show. Only half awake due to all the storms last night. It's been quiet here. Right on time, Katie. So hopefully everybody's got some fun things to do. If you are still looking for some fun things to do this weekend and you're in the Philadelphia local area, you're going to want to go to Helium Comedy Club because one of our favorites is performing there, and she is in the studio / dining room with us this morning. So let me introduce her to you. Today we invite Beth Stelling to the kitchen. She's a stand-up comedian, writer, and actress based in Los Angeles. Her new Netflix special, If You Didn't Want Me Then, topped every Best of 2023 list. Her half-hour special is also on Netflix in the first season of The Stand-Ups. Conan O'Brien produced Beth's previous hour special for HBO Max called Girl Daddy. Beth has been a writer for the following television series: Rick and Morty, Strange Planet, The Last OG, I Love America with Sarah Silverman, Another Period, and Crashing on HBO. She's a sought-after punch-up writer for feature films following her success as an on-set writer for the Universal hit Good Boys. She's starred on Amazon's Red Oaks, Corporate on Comedy Central, and she's played Miss Fish on the Peacock comedy Rutherford Falls. Please help me welcome to the show, Beth Stelling!
Thank you for having me.
Look at you. I can't believe you're in the kitchen with us. Everybody's super
I'm
excited.
awake.
Can't believe. How many kitchens have you played in your career?
I'd love to say this is the first, but as a stand-up comic, you end up saying yes to a lot of wild things.
True.
And I have performed in a man's kitchen.
Have you?
Yeah. But this might be my first woman's kitchen.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I remember I did.
Sorry you had to read such a long bio. You could have cut that down.
No, it's big. You're a very successful person.
That was maybe everything I've ever done.
That's awesome. No, it's not, because you know what wasn't on there, which
What?
I can't wait to talk about, was your 2003 Ohio Speech and Debate Association Championship in the humorous interpretation category.
I'd love to talk about it.
It's on Wikipedia. I believe that's how you got started, and I can't wait to hear more about it. But Beth is going to be at Helium. She started there last night, 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. You don't want to miss her. We started talking about you earlier in the week and said for everybody to check out the special. It is so funny.
Thank you.
And so I think I saw, because you came through Philly. The last time you came through Philly, I actually went to see you.
Thank you for doing that.
It was awesome. I think the tickets were free, but I was
You
there
dirty
supporting. But you have the funniest bits about your dad, which I also want to talk about because I think the whole raccoon thing might be the funniest thing I've ever heard.
That was a very fun experience to live. I only visited intermittently because he lives in Orlando, pursuing his acting career.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go and, pop in. So the numbers would just climb each year, each new visit. And I particularly remember because it's tough.
Raccoons.
Yes, my dad feeds raccoon, or he did. If you watch the special, no, spoiler alert, they've been transported to a field with a retention pond. But yeah, so popping in, the numbers would increase over the years, and I'm kind of bad at remembering, like meaning the years and how much it crept over time. Like he's the one who I thought I was telling the story for a while on stage, and
did it just get more and more elaborate before he shipped them away? Like, were you talking about it then? Before?
Well, I was talking about it for years because it was going on for years, and then it was on an old album, which I don't even think you can find anymore. Just because, like, that's a whole nother story. As a stand-up, you're like, I should put this out into the world. It's like, keep things that to yourself. No one needs to see your first album. It's terrible. Anyway, but I had that story on there. And so this was sort of like the final chapter, because when I started working on it again and deciding I was going to put it in this last hour on Netflix, I talked to him about it, of course. And he was like, it was 91. So that's when I got the realization
91?
that 91 was the highest that the amount of raccoons got to in his backyard.
Wow.
But I do remember a visit probably in college, or again, I can't remember, where a black bear did come. And I had a photo of it. So we can pinpoint the era because it was on a Nokia phone, just like a block, like one of the bricks.
Wow.
So I took a photo on the Nokia phone. I mean, that's how we used to communicate.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, and even before then, it was letters. I actually had a pen pal that I made come to my show last week in DC. His name's Peterson.
How long has he been your pen pal?
We met in 2002 or something.
Were you in grammar school or high school?
High school. And yeah, we were pen pals for a bit. He was my first Canadian pen pal. Aww. And then now he lives in DC. He's a dentist.
How many pen pals did you have?
I don't want to exaggerate. Let's say around 4 or 5.
Really?
Yeah, it could be more, and I forget.
Wow.
I've got letters.
How did you find them? Like all through like school, they were like, here's
first
a new friend.
First pen pal may have come in 5th grade, and our teacher, Mrs. Murphy, had taken a trip, I believe it was to China, and then had visited a school and got all those kids addresses, or not addresses, I guess. Yeah. The school's address, and said, hey, teacher, you want to switch letters?
Huh.
That was my first introduction.
You said high school in 2002. She's a baby.
Well,
you're a baby.
Yeah. Part of me is starting to question that, but yeah, no, that's right.
That's nice.
Because I started stand-up in 07.
07. So you were just out of high school? How old were you?
I was 21.
Yeah.
And it was in a bar. I kind of crashed an open mic, like a music open mic.
Okay.
So I was the only comedy act on it.
All right.
I mean, crashed is a relative term. I think that makes it sound cooler than it is. I say crashed because it was like I didn't have a guitar.
Right.
I was like, I'm going to do bits.
Well, that's how old Jacqueline is. I keep telling her, I said, if you start doing stand-up at 21, you'll be awesome. I didn't start until I was 30. I was like old. I was an old lady.
I mean, that's not old. I remember being 18 on a cruise and making friends with a 30-year-old and thinking I was so cool that I had an older
Yeah, friend. Because she was old.
Yeah,
exactly. I had 2 kids and I was 30. So let's go back. So it's 2000.
I do love it. This Rachel's like, who is it? I do love it when people say that because I'm just sort of like,
this is my cousin.
Even if it's on like Conan, people will be like, who is this? It's like, I don't know, freaking read a caption or something.
Yeah.
Or there. Just wait a second. My name's Beth.
Her name's Beth. And it's early.
Yeah.
And we've been up for a bit. So you grew up, somebody said, where did you grow up? So you grew up in Dayton.
Ohio is where I grew up, Southwest Ohio.
Which I don't want to brag, but I'm heading there in a couple weeks.
Ooh.
Ask me why. Because who is the most famous? Let me see if you know this since you're from Dayton. Who is the most famous humorist from Dayton?
Lisa Cartwright?
Nope.
Oh.
I think she was born there or went to school there.
1950s. I meant to say Nancy Cartwright, by the way. Humorous?
Yeah, Irma Bombeck.
Oh yeah, duh. Sorry.
So she has her conference, and I've been wanting to go, and they only have it every 2 years, and it sells out in like 4 minutes.
That's cool that you got. I want to hear about it.
Yeah. So I'm going, and
I do want to hear about that because I've seen it, of course.
But you've never been.
No, I think sometimes there's like a weird thing that happens about learning. For me in comedy, like I feel like I gotta find it on the streets as opposed to like seek it out.
Well, I'm going because I'm trying to write a book.
Good.
And I was like, let me go and be around other funny people.
Oh, that's smart.
So I'm actually going to the Funny Bone in Dayton. I have a show on that Wednesday. So that'll be the first time I do that one. You've played that one, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, and I don't know if we want to get into the controversy of it.
Okay, we'll do that later. Martin Sheen is from Dayton.
Yeah, okay.
Did you know that?
Yeah, we've got like Marion's Pizza is one of the like local hotspots, and they had this thing growing up where signatures would be under the glass, kind of like your table here.
Mm-hmm.
Signatures would be on the counter when you checked out, and they had like Rob Lowe, who grew up in that area, and Allison Janney.
Allison Janney. Is your name under there?
No,
why not?
I'm at Ashley's Pastry Shop, not to brag.
Is your name there?
Yeah. A signed little photo.
Aww.
I think my
Maybe
nephew's
I'll go
embarrassed
find
by it. Yeah. Ashley's Pastry Shop. Yeah, I used to go there on my lunch break. Yeah. And it's ASHLY. Get your E's right out of here.
All right. Okay. I love a good old Midwestern girl. What's like the most Midwestern thing about you, would you say?
Oh.
And is Ohio considered Midwestern?
Yeah, we're the heart of it all.
Are you? Because you feel like Mideastern.
Yeah,
like closer
I
to this
agree
side.
with you on that about the geographics.
I didn't know you were considered Midwest in Ohio.
We're like we've dubbed ourselves the heart of it all, Ohio, and I think it's because we're heart-ish shaped. But I agree with you. I mean, I've always felt that way when we were learning geography. It's like Midwest.
Yeah.
We're basically East.
Yeah.
We're the heart of the right.
I don't know what's to the left of you.
We're the alt-right.
I don't know where that is. I'm 1974. I'm in Pittsburgh, PA. That's not far, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be in Pittsburgh April 5th and 6th at Bottle Rocket Social Club.
There you go. So check out BethStelling.com.
See you there,
find out where she's at. But she's hilarious. So you should watch her Netflix special. So let's go back. It's 2003. Yes. How old are you in 2003?
21. No. Sorry.
Is that high school, right?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So you were in high school.
Or something?
And somebody says there's a debate club. And you were like, what is that? Or you're like, I'm all about it.
It started much sooner than then. I started on the speech team freshman year doing a play by Nina Shingold called Lives of the Great Waitresses. Okay. That was my first piece. Okay. And in speech and humor category, or humorous interpretation is what it's called, you basically take a play and cut it down to 10 minutes and play all the characters. So that was my first piece. My second one, I think, was Smile by Jerry Belson. Then I did Anton in Show Business my junior year. I'm trying to think about what I won state with. Oh, Fame Takes a Holiday is the play that I won the Ohio. I was Ohio State champion in humorous interpretation in 2000.
And so is that, so you basically started doing other people's words first. Yes, that's how you start.
Exactly.
Right.
And it was very male dominated. I was often the only female in the room, besides Marcy Coomer, who is another Daytonian, and we've kept in touch. She came to my taping in Dayton. I filmed the special that's on Netflix now. If you didn't want me then, filmed it in Dayton, my hometown, at the Victoria Theater. She was there, but she was one of the only other women in speech. It was just, it was actually a great intro to stand up, especially when I started, because now more people do stand up. But then in Chicago, when I started, it was still pretty male dominated.
Yeah.
So it was a nice intro to know what that would feel like.
Somebody said, is that kind of like comedy training class in high school?
Yeah.
I think so.
I would say that.
Yeah. So Beth is in LA now, but you did a stint in Chicago. Tell us about that.
Started there. And I started there. I was there for 4 years, and I did some improv as well at the Annoyance Theater, but mostly I just went to an open mic, and that was the end of it. Then I got booked on a showcase, and then more shows and more shows and more shows. And then I was just doing stand-up and working in a bagel shop, and nannying a little boy named Ethan, and Matthew, actually. Matthew texted me fairly recently.
And how old is Matthew
He was
now?
like, I just found your number in my phone. I was, well, that's not how that works. Because you were a child, and you definitely didn't have a cell phone. But it's okay that you got my number from your mom, and I'm glad that you're a fan
Is
of
it?
stand-up
I was
comedy.
gonna say, how old is he now?
I don't
Is
even
it
know. He's got to be
weird?
like 17 or something.
That's funny. All right. So the special's called If You Didn't Want Me Then, which I love the line that you do about that
Thank you.
in your stand-up. But how would you describe your stand-up? Because
I would say it's very personal and forthcoming in that way, and yeah,
who would you like when you were starting? Because I feel like in general, for a long time there weren't as many women doing stand-up. Like, were there a lot of women in like Daytona, Chicago that you were able to work
No.
with? Or
I mean, so coming up, I do remember Jenna Friedman was very kind to me. Jenna has since got the last thing I think we kind of were next to each other on would have been Borat 2. She was writing on that, and I did punch up for a second. She has a book out called Not Funny. And when I first came on the scene, she basically gave me a list of open mics and shows. And she was like, I'm headed to New York, but you're funny. And then she was like trying to be helpful to me. So she was on her way out. A lot of people were on their way out when I was starting. Like, kind of always has that exodus from Chicago to either New York or LA. And then Faye Canali was another really funny person who was on the scene. Faye Canali. The Putterboss sisters. I'm trying to think who else was on the scene that you might know now. Cameron Esposito. Yeah, I mean, we were fewer and far between. And because of that, we would often be on like the separate shows across town. Like they would do kind of like one woman per show.
Yeah.
So there wasn't really competition in that way. Like, I think a lot of people think it's sort of like, I mean, culturally, or I guess societally and in the entertainment biz, it has always been sort of very one woman at a time type of thing. Feeling. So it creates a sort of.
But you have 2 women opening for you. Do you tend to do that?
Yes.
Do you tend to put women on your show? Or you mix it up? Yeah.
Yes. I usually try to have people different from me on the show, and different voices and funny people. But yeah, Chanel Ali and Betty Smithsonian are opening. And
is that her real last name, Smithsonian?
I think.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
All right. So how many sisters do you have?
2.
Are you middle?
I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest.
Yeah.
And are you the funny one? Because I'm the middle of 2 sisters. Like, are you the funny one in the family?
Sorry, I was reading this person's.
I grew up in that one.
This one is what kills me because it's true. Anyway.
You're
sorry. I'm the youngest. Yeah, youngest of 3 girls. My oldest sisters are Megan and Hannah. And I do think that's a theme. You had mentioned, like, my mom and I had a podcast for 2 seasons where we called other comedians moms. And a theme of that podcast is often that the comedian is the youngest of the kids.
Really?
Yeah. What are you?
I'm the middle. I'm the quiet middle.
Yeah, that happens too.
But are you the funny one in your family? Because I'm not the funny one in my family. I'm the quiet one in my family.
And that's cool. That's cool about you. I mean, when I first started, I feel like I was like, people would dudes would give me a hard time saying like I whisper my punchlines. Like, because I was never really like in your face or loud or anything like that.
Well, that's what she said. I love how it didn't seem like punchlines. It was more like a sequence of stories.
Yes.
I was going to say your stand-up is.
You got to listen.
You do have to listen. But to me, does anyone ever tell you you're like Jim Gaffigan?
That's a very high compliment.
I think that there's a lot, because I feel like you
Jim.
can listen to Jim Gaffigan and literally every line is a punchline. I feel like it's the same way with you.
Yeah, I try. So like, it's interesting. I say that like, I don't know. Whenever you tried to ask me to describe my comedy, that's always been tough for me. It took reviews and feedback for me to understand what I even was. I don't know. I wasn't pitching myself. So like, the early reviews of me in stand-up were like dark, subtle, deadpan. That was the early stuff for me in Chicago, as I was described. And then I think over the years I've grown. I've been doing stand-up for 17 years, and I've grown closer to who I am as a person on stage, just comfortability wise and just my personality. But yeah, I think I like that description. I am not like hit you over the head with punchlines. I'm more of a scavenger hunt. So best of luck to you all.
Well, I just think that like listening to you, you never see what you're about to say coming, which is why I think it's so funny. Like the thing that you talk about being in the tent.
Oh yeah. That was real. Yeah.
Some of the stuff that you say, I'm just like, that is so freaking funny.
Thank you.
Because it's just, and then the thing about you and your sister finding the costumes, I'm telling you, you have to watch the special. It's so funny.
Thank you,
and
thank
it's
you,
so
thank you.
subtle and so funny.
Yeah, it's a calming experience even.
It is very calm.
Yeah. It's always funny when people like bring me out like, are you ready? You know, it's like, and then are you ready for the Lilith fair? Get crazy, ladies.
So
I'm
funny.
also not just ladies. Anybody can enjoy my comedy. We actually had to look up my Instagram split, you know, like
What do
on
you
who follows me.
Oh, like you're,
And it was
why are you
like,
touching me? This is what my children do. They never actually just come out and talk. They just hover. What's up?
I'm headed out.
Where are you going?
Emergency.
Oh, to the beach. Did you do your homework? No, why would we do
Well,
that?
I don't. I mean,
What
I
day
go
is it
a
even?
week.
Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Dude,
I don't
why
think
aren't you in school?
They're on spring break.
Okay.
You haven't asked me if I've done my homework in like years.
Well, because you told me yesterday you had so
Oh,
much
yeah.
homework to do and you weren't sure if you were
What?
going to go today and you were having like a real adult
did do a
mature
little bit
moment.
till last
And now
night.
it's the next day and you're like, yeah, I'm done with that.
I
I'm
did
just
do
going to
a
go to the
little
beach.
bit.
What happens on
Cool.
Monday? School?
Yes.
In what grade?
I'm a sophomore in college.
Oh, college.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
She looks young.
Well,
I
you
never-
Said, did you hear Jorge said like
Right, it
high
felt-
school.
homework
It
felt like high school.
It did, but
I never bought the books sometimes.
in college.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I buy the books and then they don't use them.
I know. What the
So,
heck? Don't buy the books. And I think that's the trick to college. Don't buy the books.
Don't do anything.
Don't go to college,
no,
actually.
we should. Okay, think about it.
All
Did you
right.
go to college at all?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say that, but I went.
What did you study?
It's a delivery man. Maybe.
What did you study in college?
I was a theater major.
Of course you were.
Go figure.
What's the water mean? It's big ruckus when the
The
water
ring
comes up.
says.
What's that?
So, there's a person at the door.
Yeah,
We actually knew that before the ring told us that there was a person at the
I
door
did.
because there's dogs.
All the dogs. Come on now.
Here, puppies.
So you go to college in,
Okay,
in
yeah.
Dayton?
I went to Miami University in Ohio.
Wait,
It's a liberal arts school. They're known for their paper science.
the
I think it's mentioned in The Office or something.
paper
I never watched-
science?
Yeah. I don't even know what that is,
I
but
don't know what it is either.
my first job was at Grater's Ice Cream in Dayton, Ohio. And, well, I mean, I had
Ice
a little
cream
thing.
shop, bagel shop.
Yeah, I was in the food biz,
Okay.
the service industry. 2 tours at a bagel shop.
And a barista.
And a barista. That's my first, that was in Chicago. I managed Dollop Cafe. And then I worked at Intelligentsia Coffee in Los Angeles, which was a very intense experience. That was like, speaking of going to school for stuff,
Yeah.
it's like a trade. I think they've been bought out now by
Baristaing.
Pete's, but when I was in Intelligentsia, I had to go through an 8-month training program.
Intelligent. Is that what you're saying?
Intelligentsia.
Is a coffee shop?
Yeah. And they have, again, things have changed over the years, but initially they were very intense about coffee. I couldn't even touch milk for like 8 months. I was like doing dishes for a long time.
You had to work your way up?
to touching milk. And now I can do a latte art, rosettas,
Oh, those
tulips.
things?
Yeah.
Oh. Beth, who is the most interesting person, celebrity you've met or worked with?
Most interesting in what way?
Hmm.
I mean, I've worked with nightmare people who like the set has celebrated once they've left. But are we supposed to name those folks?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Most interesting person, right? That's so tough. Sorry, I'm just trying to think. One time I was really close to Jamie Foxx and it felt electric. That's probably the person I've been most starstruck.
I was
by.
going to say, have you ever met anybody and like you can't use words? Like you're just like
I've
a
been,
lot more
like, yeah,
overwhelmed
nervous.
than you thought you would be.
Well, I will say being in LA, like I have learned to like tamp down my feelings. And speaking of tamp down, that's a barista term.
Oh,
Tamp down the espresso with a
okay.
tamper.
All right. There it
Anyway,
is.
I've learned to tamp down my feelings because I'm just like remain calm, remain cool.
I won't be good.
You don't let yourself really feel anything. Even my first time on Conan, you're like, is this even real? Like I went to the a place called Ye Rustic for wings after I did Conan.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, hey, really shy, like,
Uh-huh.
I'm on Conan a little bit. Could you put it on the TV? And they're like, no. And I was like, okay. You know, that was like my first year in LA, within my first year in LA.
Wow.
And so that was not a lesson, but it's like, yeah, everybody's trying to do that. Like,
wow.
so you just sort of, again, sometimes I feel like I have to use like a defibrillator to be like, you do cool things.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like it's not that I'm jaded. It's that I've learned to tamp everything down so I can function at my job. I
don't
guess
think
Woody
I'd be good at that.
Harrelson is a funny little guy. I love
Oh,
him.
yeah.
Not little. I like Woody. It's been fun to work with him. One time.
What did you guys work on?
The Man from Toronto, Champions.
So a bunch of stuff. So he would know your name. He'd be like, "Oh, hey, Beth," like that.
Yeah. He's a
That's
sweet guy.
nice.
I met him through Sarah Silverman.
Oh, nice.
Who also is someone I've just grown to love and respect so much. Because even when I first started stand-up, I wasn't like a student of stand-up. I didn't watch any because I was like terrified of stealing.
Yeah, me too.
So I've grown to love Sarah and the work she puts out in the last couple years. I think she's always looking to learn and grow and change. And also she's a great actress.
That's awesome.
It's a good lesson to learn when you're on the road. Because sometimes I struggled with like I always want to be authentic and present.
Yeah.
And stand-up doesn't always lend itself to that, because when you first start, you think like, oh, people are just up there being funny. And now I've been doing it for 17 years and you learn very quickly that, oh no, like you're honing material or you're repeating yourself a lot. And in that way, you need to be careful what you're saying, because if it's bad stuff about yourself, then your life will go down the tubes as well. But if it's like what you're choosing to talk about is being repeated, and that's like the power of repetition is very real. And because I yearn to be authentic, sometimes I'm like, you guys know this one. Not because I think I'm famous and you know my work, but because I'm like, oh, I've said this a bunch. And it's like, no, actually, they don't know who you are. You could probably tell the same act for like 10 years and people still wouldn't know who you are. But like, it's a lesson in being present and making it seem like it's the first time you're ever saying something. And she does that really well.
I think you do that. I think all good comics do that.
Thanks. I like Champions too. I thought it turned out great.
That's awesome. All right. So it says you've been in a number of acting roles. Which one has been your favorite?
I loved playing Miss Fish. It was on the show Rutherford Falls, which was on Peacock, which is NBC's streaming service. And of course, I wish it had just been on regular NBC. I mean, so does my mom. I think it's one of those things where she's like, why is this show on streaming and not on the regular thing? And I'm like, I agree. But it was like Indigenous women created it and filled the writer's room with mostly Indigenous folks. And it was centered around Jana Schmeeding, who was also an Indigenous woman. And Ed Helms was opposite her as the other star. And I play like a crazy teacher who's thirsty for Ed. It was just fun. And Ed Helms is like really funny and kind. And I enjoyed that role a lot.
That's nice. Now, what is the thing that your mom is the most impressed with? Because my mom gets real impressed by like the dumbest stuff. I'm like, this is not okay. She's like, now, do we get as many donuts as we want when we're in that green room?
Right?
But yeah, sure.
Yeah, free food never gets old.
Yeah. So like, what is you think the thing that your mom is like tells all her friends at church or like, oh my gosh, you never guessed what Beth did.
I think she's really excited. Like she'll sometimes spill beans on stuff that's like not public. And not like it's a secret or something, but like, I don't know, if I'm developing a show or something that may never get seen by the public. Like she's working with Elizabeth Banks right now, you know, and it's sort of like, I love you. It's not really public and nothing could come of it, but yeah.
But cool. Yeah. Tell everybody at church.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom's got everybody at church watching whatever we do.
I'm trying to think. She loved Miss Fish. She's shared everything. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah. And how about your sisters? Do they think you're funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They came to the taping. They're very supportive. They're funny too.
Do they still live in Dayton with your mom?
Yeah, my whole family's in Dayton.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Southwest Ohio.
Wow. That's amazing. All right. So I mentioned the other day that I had an article that came across that I wanted to read. So I thought we could read this article because the title just sounded so ridiculous to me that I thought that we could look at it. So here it is. Boom, boom. All right. So this one says bridemaid criticized for lying to avoid spending money on destination weddings. So let's get into it. Weddings can be expensive. This is the Am I the A-hole on Reddit? Do you know that?
I don't know. Reddit confuses me, but continue please.
So Am I the A-hole is a board where you could go on there and be like, okay, so I was out with my girlfriend and I might have punched her in the face.
Am I the a-hole?
Yeah. Okay. So that's what this is, one of them. Okay. She explained that she and her childhood friend named Kayla were so close, she didn't even ask her to be a bridesmaid because it was assumed. However, because it was a destination wedding, the bridesmaid was concerned about the cost. Kayla's fiance is from a town in the north of Scandinavia where the wedding would be held, but the date was brought forward at the last minute, leaving only 4 months until the wedding date. Between the flights, the hotel, everything being booked in midsummer, spare rooms, final cost around $300 per night for 7 days of the wedding. The rental car, the bridesmaid's dress, the full traditional outfit to be worn, pet boarding, general incidentals. We're looking at a minimum of $8,000 per bridesmaid. For the last couple of years, the woman and her husband had been saving for a 3-week tour around Japan for their 10th anniversary, and they had just purchased their tickets when the wedding date was pushed forward. Kayla didn't know I'd booked the flight when she broke the news. You're so lucky. We've been saving all that money for our vacation anyway, the post continued. The bridesmaid pointed out that she was afraid to tell Kayla the truth that her wedding was too expensive, considering she got married at a destination wedding herself, but she wasn't able to do it. I fear she would question our friendship if is not worth canceling our Japan. So basically, the question is, what would you think if somebody asked you to pay $8,000, even if it was your best friend?
Well, look, I was a stand-up comic when everybody was getting married. So I was like, I've got a show in this man's kitchen. You know? And so I actually missed all my friends' weddings because I was like, I'm not going to make it.
Good.
And they still love me.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
It depends on, look, 8,000 is insane for the age people normally get married in America.
Yes.
I don't know. Are you guys all in STEM? What are you up to?
I don't know.
How do you have 8,000?
Well, did
The
you
answer
hear
is no,
too?
you're
Did
not
you hear
going.
too the now when I got married and there was like a bachelorette, they're like, let's go to Atlantic City, which is an hour from here, and let's maybe take a limo down, and that was it. That was Now it's like, we're going to the Bahamas. I'm like, this is the bachelorette party,
right?
What are we doing?
It's a lot to ask of someone.
It's a lot.
I think, I do remember my mom accidentally sharing an article on Facebook when my sister was going through her second divorce, or maybe, I don't know, second or third or first, who cares? It was like she accidentally shared an article that was like, what reasons to take what you would spend on take the money you'd spend on a wedding and invest it instead of a wedding or something like that.
Oh.
Which is, she accidentally shared it. I'm sure she was reading it and then pressed something or a finger slip. The point is, it's like, I mean, why? I don't know. If you don't have the money, don't have a wedding.
Yeah, people don't do
like
that.
Save the money.
No, people don't do
and
that.
And then put it for a down payment on a house, or feed yourself for 7 years, or whatever it is. But like, for sure, don't have a wedding.
Yeah.
If you don't have the money.
No, I don't
I'm
think
so
the kids
confused.
do that. So when I got married, I was living in my parents' basement, and I was like, I need a house, and then we can plan a wedding. So we bought a house. It was a real bad house because that's all we could afford. And then our wedding was in the hall. It was in the cafegimatorium, and it was across from the church. And then we walked across the parking lot. People were like, I had a horse and carriage. I'm like, I walked across the parking lot.
Yes.
And it was in the cafegimatorium, and it was great. But I had a house to go home to. I was like, I don't want to have a big wedding and be like, I'm moving back in with my mom and dad.
Yeah, I had one of my favorite weddings was like at a cafegimatorium.
Yeah.
It was in Alabama, and it's just like, all you need is a big space and
you don't
some
need that.
food.
My grandmom used to talk about, they used to have football weddings. So my grandmom was like Depression era, and they used to have these football weddings. And I was like, what's a football wedding? She goes, football wedding, when you don't got a lot of monies, and you get married, you come home, and the reception, they didn't have these receptions. So a couple of days before, the ladies that get together, you make sandwiches. You got the ham, you got the meatballs, you wrap them up. Then when everybody comes to your house and they're all standing in the living room, then you stand on a chair, you go, what do you want? And they say, I want a turkey. And then you get a turkey sandwich and you throw it at them. And that's a football wedding.
I love that.
And I was like, I'm going to do a football wedding.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why would I, if I'm getting married, feed you? And why do you need to watch it? You're going to see us out about. Let's go to dinner sometime.
Yeah, what if you just went to dinner one at a time and people are like, you can take me to, oh, wait, you're never going to guess this story. I'm not going to say names to protect the innocent, but
Okay.
somebody I know got married. Destination, wedding destination, Vegas.
Yes.
Fine. They invite the family to Vegas. And they had gotten a room. So like Vegas will be like, here's a room, you know, and it was just a little ceremony. And then they had like cakes and cupcakes and stuff. Fine. So everybody, the ceremony, everybody gets a little dessert because we Italian. Then they say this. All right, everybody. So that is the end of our formal ceremony. We're going to go downstairs and we're going to eat at this restaurant. Now, if you want to go to the same restaurant and you have dinner there too, you can. But we're going to be there. And I was like, let me get this straight. So somebody asked you to fly to Vegas and go to this thing for your wedding. And all you giving them is a cupcake. And then you were like, well, we're not going to pay for your dinner. We're going to go to dinner at this restaurant. You could be at the table next to us. And then it would be like a part, but you would have like a separate check.
If you're lucky, you might get seated next to us and you could watch us eat.
We'll watch you.
And
I was like,
pay your own bill.
I was like, no. The Italian in me would be like, no, I'm going to need to give you more. I'd be like, is this all we getting? Is this cupcake?
See, this is what I mean. Like,
I don't know.
Okay, I'm not
But I'm
married
just
and I've never
saying.
been married. So I'm just sort of like, I don't get any of it. And I'm surprised people are still getting married publicly when everybody has Instagram. Like, didn't you get your attention for that day? Like, post yourself in the dress once, get all your likes.
That's it.
Avoid the money and ceremony. Just
Yeah.
get your little papers and
Listen,
I
if
don't
I
know.
was going down the street to the church
Meet at the
and you
skating
gave me a
rink.
cupcake, I'd be fine with that.
right.
But
Like-
if you gonna make me fly halfway across the world,
Just to watch you say I do.
mm-hmm.
I don't know. They should have given you more of a show.
Something. Friend's daughter's getting married this summer, easily spending over $80,000.
Wait, 80 grand, they're spending it, not you.
Yeah.
Friend's daughter's getting married.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And expecting bridesmaids to destinations, bachelor party, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess if you know all your friends are super rich,
I don't think anybody has.
I think the invite has to say, let us know if you can afford, and then insert the number. And if not, no worries.
No.
I think the invite should say, are you looking to lose a lot of money this year?
That's
And
basically
in
what
exchange,
it is.
watch me and my boyfriend kiss, which you can see on any given day.
I'm gonna tell you something. So my sister, when she got married, now you know Italians with the envelope, right?
All the envelopes?
No, we got a money purse.
Oh.
And you married and you got a little money purse, and then you go over and people go, congratulations, and you go like this.
And they put money in there?
And then they put the envelope in. So at the end of the night, you sit down and you're in your wedding dress and you start opening up and you start counting the monies up, right? Well, my sister, she came home and she wrote, oh, this is from Beth.
Uh-huh.
Beth gave me $20. So she wrote, Beth, $20. Now, she doesn't take into account inflation. But let's say 5 years later, Beth gets married.
Yes.
Guess what's going in Beth's envelope?
$20.
$20.
An eye for an eye with the old
She don't
sister.
play. She don't play. And I said, well,
How does she know? Because if it's a big envelope, like what if I just threw a 20 in there?
No. It's you. You have your own envelope with like a
and
card.
I put my envelope in there.
Yeah. And you
Okay.
put it into the bag.
Sometimes I dated a guy who was a funny guy, and he would be like, you have like a year to buy him a gift. We'd never he'd always show up to a wedding with nothing. And he'd be like, you got like a year to give him a gift.
Did he ever send anything?
I don't think so. I don't know. I had no money at the time. I think I tried to send something to them, or I'd put a card from us in there.
Mm-hmm.
But some of them didn't even make it to the year.
Somebody said, we had a book of names and how much. You can put $20. No, you can't. The average, if you go to a wedding, the average is, you're supposed to cover your plate. So you're supposed to do like.
So by the way, you're not even
150,
getting everybody
200.
dinner. You're
No.
basically asking them to show up and just secretly pay for their own meal at a wedding.
Yes. Basically, you're supposed to at least cover your plate.
You should be able, and I guess that's why they let you choose your meal, but they don't let you choose the quality of said meal.
No. Well, that's what my sister would also, she'd go to a wedding and I'd be like, well, how much are you going to put on the card? She's like, I want to see what they're serving first. I was like, what? She goes, if you're going to show up with like some crudité, I got $20 for you. You're going to show up with a steak. She had like this whole thing. It's like a big deal in New Jersey. I don't
That's
know
funny.
if it's the same in Ohio.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I missed a lot of those weddings, like I said.
Yeah.
And again, why put yourself? It seems like a big risk for not enough reward. Like, here, come to the wedding. It's going to cost us this much. Hopefully, we make it back in donations.
Yeah, no.
What a weird investment.
Mm-hmm.
What do they get out of it? Again, just seeing you be like, and I love you, and I love you too. Which could it be done online now? Or just you could hear about it.
You wonder, like all the people during the pandemic, they were getting married on the Zoom.
Yeah, one of my sisters did get remarried during the pandemonium.
Yeah.
I couldn't make it back. And I didn't watch on Zoom either.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what?
What?
It still happened. They're still got married.
Uh-huh. They become shim-shams. Mm-hmm. A friend of mine gives a check for a year after. Wait,
What's
what?
shim-shams?
Shim-sham. That means when somebody's trying to get over on you, it's called a shim-sham.
Oh.
That's what we call it. Hello, watching from Manila, Philippines. When's the next time you're playing in the Philippines?
I don't have plans.
Sheldon, soon. Stay tuned to BethStelling.com. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I did a barbecue meat on buns and we had our reception at the church hall. Spent $5,000. Simple. No dance. No booze. Here is your barbecue sandwich. Thanks for coming.
$5,000 is still a lot. That's probably good barbecue.
My parents had a book. A lot of people gave $5. Some gave $3 for their wedding. How long ago was that?
Wow.
I spent $2,000 on a wedding, catered by and served our guests ourselves. Friends bartended, another DJ'd, another friend did photography. Our friends helped us clean up the school gym after the reception. Texas Yankee hoedown. Comfy jeans. Paid $27 for my dress at Fashion Bug. I love it.
Imaginations by Wendy. She's got it on lock.
Funny. Yeah. If they are still married, they can cash it. Hence, the debt is made for 1 year after the date. You mean like what if they're still together, you mean?
Oh, yeah. If they're still married, they can cash the check.
Oh.
Hence, the date is made, for a year after the wedding. So you post-date your check.
Wow. So if you're still together, that's your prize?
You got to make it a year before you're allowed to see my $20.
That's crazy.
If you guys make it a year, 2 coffees on me.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Okay, people say the money is supposed to be a gift, not pay for the wedding.
I don't know, Allison. Because it used to be you could go to a wedding and be $100 in the envelope. But then like time went by and I was like, isn't it 100? My girlfriend's like, you can't put 100 in there.
Why?
Because it's too low. They're like, no.
100 is a lot of money.
Yeah, no, not anymore. Now you got to bump it up.
But all I have to say is the solution here is definitely don't get married.
There's that. Is that your plan? Never marry?
If I get married to the guy I'm seeing who I love very much and we're like, oh, it would be good to make this official. I don't know. What are the benefits?
Healthcare.
I have it.
Okay.
So what are the benefits to getting married? I'm confused.
Well, some people will you only you're under
situation?
one. Are you under one house now, under one roof?
He's got a house and I've got a place.
So that would be a benefit that you wouldn't have 2 mortgages or, there's that.
Sure.
So you would
pitch me some other stuff.
do that. Well, I just got divorced. I don't know if I'm the best person to ask.
Well, I mean, I knew that
there
about
was
you.
there was some good years. Yeah, there's baby raising, and everybody got the same name, kinda.
Sure.
If you decided, well, you don't say Beth Stelling. You're not going to change that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, I feel like if the government's involved, isn't it? It's inevitably nefarious. But I guess if I'm getting married and there's some sort of benefit for that, and again, I'm not sure what those are.
Yeah. See, there's a lot of divorced people here. Like, don't ask us. Somebody said the ring. Been there, done that. I'm
want
good.
the ring. Yeah, I don't wear jewelry.
But if you have kids, it might be nice to start together in one
tax
place.
benefits. Somebody says, okay, so tax benefits. Oh, see each other in the
hospital and emergencies.
That's for the worst part when they say for better or for worse.
That's the worst part.
So you basically sign up to be someone's emergency contact officially.
It is weird. Like when I got
collect each other's social security. Somebody keep an eye on Fiona.
She's about to kill someone.
Or get smooshed out.
Yeah, social security, pensions.
Okay, so there's
somebody had like a pension.
What if he has like debt or something, or
what if he has what?
Debt?
Debt. Oh no, then
What
that's
if
bad.
he doesn't have good things going on tied to his name? I've got great credit.
Yeah.
I
no.
can't be dealing with this. But anyway, okay, so say I choose to do that. The point is, I love him so much. We would get some cute photos. I'd do a dress.
Mhm.
I would do it, I don't know, in his
Wait,
backyard.
Alejandra said we had a money dance. Is that where you just walk around dancing and people give you money? Alejandra, just explain this.
Yeah.
This might be handy
Yeah.
if she ever gets married. Just no wedding, just a money dance.
Dance for your cash. Do a little strip tease for the money. Okay, so
She said, I spent too much money on my wedding day way back then. I was a different person then. I get rid of the dress, got rid of the husband, got rid of the ring. I'm a different person now. Would never spend a lot on a wedding now.
you're right. Yeah, so you change over time. And I think times have changed as well. But again, if you're looking for attention, you could open an Instagram account. You could post photos of yourself in a pretty dress and then get that sort of same rush that you might get. Get yourself some professional photos if you need that attention. And then if you're looking for the lifetime commitment, that can actually be, surprise, done in private. So I think we could get married in his backyard.
I think we have the new special
documentation.
called
Don't
Not Get
Get
Married.
Married.
Don't Get Married.
Again, I'm not trying to be all like anti, and I think you're an idiot if you got married. But if you're living in debt
Well, what if
because
you,
of
what
your
if you
wedding,
weren't?
what would the plus be?
What if you weren't?
Yeah, if
what
you
if
have
you
money
weren't?
to wipe your butt with, have everybody fly
There you
everybody
go.
to Fiji. Have a wedding.
It said, inquiring minds are asking about Beth's skincare routine.
Oh, I use
So-
Trina Renee, Renea.
Hmm.
It's online. I use like her skin smoothie. It's like a tinted SPF. And I also use a little Biba de Sousa, which
I don't
is
know
like,
any of the words you're saying.
they're like LA.
They're fancy.
facialists.
They're fancy facial things.
Trina Renee has a podcast about skin too. if you're
Yeah.
interested. And I use a little zapper.
What's a zapper?
Like it has a glass filled with gas, and you go zap, zap. It's like a bug zapper for your face.
What do you do with it?
You zap zits and stuff.
Like all
And
over?
it's like a little, you can have different tips and things to it. I'm trying to remember the brand for you.
Look at this.
Elimination
It's
or
getting so
something?
dark. This is the H spot. You'll get one eventually.
Yeah, I have one right here. I just
You
covered it up.
don't. You don't. Where?
Right there. You didn't see where I've covered
Oh,
it.
little. That's a little.
Well, it's got covered on it.
Oh yeah, me too. Not enough on here.
And then I just tried some MAKE makeup lately. That's been kind of nice.
MAKE.
Yeah, like a little bit of
Is there an
concealer.
age spot zapper? I don't think so.
Well, technically yes.
Is it like a bleach?
Well, there is that from
Cream.
Kiehl's, the
Okay.
dark spot treatment. You can get that
Okay.
from Kiehl's. But yeah, the zapper, I wish I could remember. I'm sure you could look it up, but I plug it into the wall and it's like a long tube. People have mistaken it for,
Uh-huh.
but then you plug in a glass tube and it's like neon or NE and maybe something else. And it lights up and you go zap, 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 zap. And it sounds like a bug zapper. Zzz, 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 zzz. Kind of run it over your face. There's a mushroom tip. And I don't do this as regularly as I should, like anything in my life.
Huh.
And also I have, I did just get one of those really, because I'm not married and I don't have kids. I got one of those, I think remember the Theragun? Like one of those
Like a
things?
massager?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
they came out with a red, like infrared mask
Oh, I did
and
see
blue
that.
light. I got that. So it's the Thera mask and you look like Tron.
But what does it do? Like
I'm
when
scared
it's
my
done,
boyfend in
are
it.
you like what like say
When
I
it's
did it to my
done,
face, how would
it's
I feel?
especially blue light is good for me because I have acne. So it really lowers it calms the acne and it's anti-aging. So I don't know really what that's doing, but I plan to age naturally, so it can't hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Michelle said, "Is this it? The high frequency?"
Yeah.
Yeah, she said yes, Michelle.
I can't see the exact, like, I'm sure there's different versions of it, but what you've shared, so I don't have the stacked one, but that is what you're looking for in that realm
Got
of
it.
Zapper.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. I forget the name of it.
I have an
Sure, I
age
can look
spot
it
that
up.
sort of looks like a teardrop from far. People used to say, you seem so nice to have been in prison.
And you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
don't play
Back
with
it
me.
up. Yeah. She said, how old are you, Beth? You are so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. 30 something.
Looks good. Listen, one day that's going to start with a 5
Yeah.
and that'll be dramatic.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things too where I'm like, I think the only time, I plan to age naturally, and I'm actually just prepared for, like, I already experienced what it looks like to see myself differently in the mirror, and I know it's going to get harder because we live in a world that is.
See this? So I don't want you. I'm growing my gray.
Yeah.
You can't tell. So
I
I
think it's
just
beautiful.
did this silver, this blonde thing to kind
Oh,
of.
okay, yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, that's happening.
I know, and
genetic.
again, like in the I have some little here's and there's.
I don't see it.
Just, I mean, I'm not
You're
too worried
good.
about it, but
You're 30.
my
It's
hair
adorable.
is sort of always been very fine, but I started doing some drops in there to like hair thickening drops, and they have gray ones too.
Really?
Vegamore.
You just rub it in?
Yeah, Vegamore. It's like drop, 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 and then you kind of rub it into your head. They have grays ones, and then mine is for the hair growing.
Oh.
Somebody asked if I'm a redhead, and the truth is, like, whenever I'm on camera or stuff, like, when I'm getting trolled by men, they'll call me like Carrot Top.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm sort of like, and also because I have a very expressive face, so I think they're trying to be mean, and I'm like, I don't really care what you think of me, but answer is I don't consider myself a redhead, not as a bad thing. But like, would you say I'm a redhead? It's just under the lights, I look kind of like a redhead.
No, I don't think so. But I could see that because
It's
there it
interesting.
looks redder than it is in
Yeah,
person.
so I guess on camera sometimes, yes, it looks red, but this is my natural hair color, and I don't dye it.
You don't? Does your mom have gray?
She does, and
Does
she
she
dyes
dye?
it.
She does.
She gets some highlights.
Yeah.
I had to think about that for a second.
I was gonna say it's my dad. His whole family is like white, and my mom not really. So I'm my dad right here, and then the back of my head is my mom. That's real weird.
Oh, somebody said I thought I was going to age naturally, and then 2020 did a number on me, basically. And I agree with you. Like 2020 did a number on me because I dated a guy for 2 years who was cheating on me, and I feel like I have so many more wrinkles from him and me being like, "What'd you just say to me?" So I'm just sort of like, that man aged me, and I'd love to like just blame him, but whatever. I have I participate in a bad relationship.
So
as well.
how long have you been dating this fellow that you're dating?
We met last July.
Aww.
At a July 4th party in the wild.
Oh, did he know you were a comedian?
Yeah,
He did.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, he's a cutie pie.
He's so sweet.
Oh, look at him.
We have to go soon.
We do have to go soon. So listen, everybody, I want to thank Beth for being here, and she is going to be in your town soon. Make sure you check out her schedule at bethstelling.com. Follow her as well. Make sure you go and check out the Netflix special. It's hilarious. All the good things that she's doing. And thanks for coming today.
Yeah,
this was
thank
a
you so much
pleasure.
for having me. I had a blast and great to meet everybody, and thank you for having me.
Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you have a great weekend. We'll be back here on Monday morning. Oh no, I don't know if I'll be back here because I have maybe a surgery for the kidney stones. So if I'm here in the morning, then I'll do my surgery and then whatever, you'll find out.
Send lemonade.
Yeah, send lemonade and good vibes. So thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks to Jacqueline and Brooke for going and getting our breakfast this morning.
Yes, thank
and
you so
sexy
much.
producer Michelle for putting all of this together as always. Hopefully you enjoyed today. We do have Voila on Sunday. We are making fried pickles and air fried churros. Do you have an air fryer?
No, but I'll think about it.
It is the most amazing thing. So if you'd like to become a supporter, you'll see Voila on Sunday at 1:00. We're just going to be air frying a whole bunch of stuff. So if you want to join us, get yourself an air fryer. I put my air fryer on my Amazon list. I researched everything to exhaustion, and I love my air fryer. So what are air fried churros? You know what churros are, right? Remember? You might be too young, but they used to sell them at Kmart. I guess they're a Spanish dessert, but to me they're like from Kmart. But you can make them in your air fryer. So we're gonna learn how to do that on Sunday. But thanks for watching, everybody. Like Judy from Saskatoon says, I hope you do something nice for yourself or others today. And thanks for watching. As always, have a great day and a blessed day, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed today's morning show, make sure to follow us for more One Funny Mother content.
Okay, all right. Morse code is tapping.
And check out OneFunnyMotherStore.com for great new inappropriate swag. And for more exclusive content, consider becoming a supporter.
She got a bad leg.
Thanks again, and we'll see you tomorrow on One Funny Morning.